This is the Monroe Martin Podcast.
So I had my heart broken for the first time.
Oh shit! It's usually that drop. We're fucked up on this show, as you can tell so far. We see ghosts. My dog's a weirdo, yo. All she does is just climb on top of the couch and just start licking the top of my head. Or anyone's head. She just likes black product. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Monroe Martin Podcast. I got a very special guest in the building. This is one of my closest friends. She took care of me and Derek and all my other nigglets when we got here. Made sure that we did the right thing. We stayed on the right track. Give it up for one of the funniest comics I know, one of the rawest comedians I know. She will always speak her mind no matter where the fuck she goes. Every time you see this chick, she's just leveling the room. You've seen her on Comedy Central. You've seen her on Hulu. What else have you done? Fucking Paramount Plus?
Yeah, everything.
You won an Emmy, or at least you got nominated for an Emmy. Did you win an Emmy?
I was nominated to be nominated 3 times. So, at some point, hopefully I'll get nominated.
Wait, so she got nominated to get nominated 3 times, and so that still counts. Give it up for Yamaneika Saunders, everybody. Let her hear it.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here. Hello.
What's up? Wait, how the hell does that work? How do you get nominated to be nominated? What the fuck is that?
I mean, they have to get a list of people that they want to present, for whatever network or studio house, and they put all the people in the ring that they want to put in the ring. And they put you up for consideration. And then there's another process where people pull the nominees out of the recommendation for nominees. And then that's the list that you see that becomes the contenders for whatever award. So it's a process.
Man, that sounds like a long-ass process that I'm probably never going to be a part of. I don't even know how to get nominated, but yo, thank you for doing the podcast. How you been, yo?
I've been good. Everything is kind of chill right now. We're in the middle of a writer's strike, so I think it's a lot of time to reflect and figure out what our next steps are when the industry opens back up to us in a better, positive way.
Yeah, but you not on the writer's strike. You a goddamn comic. You still going up. You still talking shit.
Yeah,
they on the writer's strike.
Yeah, I mean, we just won a WGA award.
Yeah.
So
you have to. So you kind of have to act like you care.
I have to act like I care. It was recent. I mean, it just happened this year. We were blessed to win a WGA award for Inside Amy Schumer, and It affects us all, really, to be honest with you. I mean, on the Screen Actors side, there's people still auditioning for things that, are going to come out. But, the actors are also uniting with the writers. And it just helps for this new world that we're in. I think people think that writers are just being greedy. But really, we're in a new world that has a different pay structure than the one that we were in. I mean, that also goes from when movies and television first started and we had silent films, there was a whole different regard for that. Even getting off of radio, right, into actual films and stuff, there's a different regard. People don't understand that there are residuals, that, it's not like something is played one time and then it just goes into oblivion. Things get played, and every time those things get played, there becomes a revenue stream with that. There's ad revenue, commercial revenue. No one is just playing something for free. And then with streaming, it's like, how do we govern that space in which people are constantly watching things over and over again, and certain people are getting residuals for that, and then the people that help create the product is not. So
yeah,
it's bigger than just people just complaining about getting money. It's about getting a fair share and also having a living wage.
Did you expect this much? I don't even know what word to call it, but this seems like shit that goes on in the regular world. Like, I never expected to have to strike as a comedian. I'm like, why would I strike? I wake up at 12, and then I gotta get up earlier, fucking write a sign and go march in solidarity.
Yeah.
Did you ever expect that type of shit on this end, though?
I Yeah, I've been through this process. I mean, I've been in this
What do
business
you mean?
25 years. And I remember when comedians were trying to get a union. This was
Oh
years
yeah,
ago
that
back
ain't
when
gonna work.
Patrice was alive, and
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of people that we all came together. I mean, there was the work that was done during that time of comedians trying to come together and increase pay. Did have an effect on clubs paying, changing their pay structure and things of that nature. Were we able to continue to have a comedians thing after that? No. I mean,
Nah.
we are somewhat of a dysfunctional group of people. And egos start to run amok, and people are once they're satisfied with whatever they got, then there's less desire for them to continue to fight for the people who don't got. But yeah, I always think we need to fight for what we need, and anytime the unions get involved, we have to be prepared for that, which is why it took me so long to be a part of the union, because I just wanted to do my own thing. But
Yeah.
my
Writers Guild union fee is a lot of goddamn money.
it's a lot.
Yeah, so they want your firstborn, they want your first check, your firstborn, a down payment. Isn't it like 10 grand?
Yeah, it is. And I think it's when I did Screen Actors, I think it was
It was 3.
it was some I have let me be double.
It was 3, and you were able to split it up into 2.
Right.
Two
right.
big chunks.
I
Yeah.
have to double check how I paid, because I have not gone into anything willingly.
What do you mean? So you were a must join.
I've always been.
That means they took that shit out of your check. You paid it regardless. Like, you didn't even want to pay it. They was like, we're just going to take it out of your check. That's what they did.
I shouldn't even say this, but I don't pay attention to the dues and stuff at all, because I'm constantly not acknowledged for something because I haven't paid my dues. But it's more of a system about how they still go about the mail of it all, instead of like, I would rather just have them take from me instead of having to remember to do something. But which I also think, sometimes that can be tricky, but yeah, I've always been grandfathered in. But I will tell you this: when I first joined the Screen Actors Guild, and I was working on a project. I'm not going to say which project because I don't want to embarrass them. But every time I would go and do this project, I would get $75 to go and do this, do this gig. And once it became time for me that I had to join Screen Actors Guild and this and that, my pay went from $75 to like $5,000 a week. So there is a benefit in the guild, because they have fought really hard to make sure that you get the money that you're.
I mean, I don't always get the money. I know the work I put in it. You get that residual check, and that should say $17.
Oh yeah, no, we all get.
We all get the $17 check.
I got one that says a 1 cent, and I was like, it cost them more money to send it to me than to just keep that penny.
Dude, just fucking Venmo me. How come they can't do it like that? Do you know who the president of SAG is?
Fran Dresser.
Okay, yeah, that shit just caught me off guard. I just looked it up.
But
I didn't know.
Why am I Gabrielle? What's her name from 90210? I mean,
hold on, 90210. Can you look it up for it? Sorry.
Yeah, but that is who. And I like when it's things like that, because then you can see that it's not all. You just see somebody working as an artist, but you also know when you see people like Fran Drescher, people that we know as great actors and talents and funny people we've idolized, and then you see them in a position as like president of SGA, you go, oh, they take it serious. They are really about the union, and also you go, wow, I could be that one day. That's
what I was just about to ask you. Do you see yourself being the president of the SAG union one day? If they tapped you on the shoulder and it was like, Yam, we need you to fix this shit. We need you to set it right. You would do it?
I would absolutely. I would love to be the president of SGA one day. Absolutely.
Really? I don't want to be the president of the shit. I got like a 5-question minimum. If you ask me more than 5 questions, I'm like, all right, I'm done. Like, get the fuck out of here.
But imagine how much people love and appreciate you to get. That has to be such an honor because, we're voting on that as actors. That is, it's not like it's something outside of our business. It is your peers voting to put you in a position of power and esteem inside the organization that supports us. I think it's one of the most amazing accomplishments that you could have.
Yeah, probably right, but
we'll look back on this in like 20 years, and Monroe will be president of SGA.
First thing I'm bringing back though, physical copies of those goddamn of the movies that were nominated. This fucking link, the link to watch it. They're like, we're going to give you a link that expires in 30 days. Fuck that. Like, I miss looking cool in front of my family members, like coming down back to Philly with a bunch of fucking unreleased DVDs and shit.
Yeah.
Like, I lost all cool points.
Yeah.
Like when Mudbone, what's that shit with the fish man? I mean, with the fish lady. Dude was fucking the fish lady. It's called like Deeper Than Water or some shit like that. You don't know what I'm talking about? Yum! How you don't know what I'm talking about? These are the movies that are winning. It was by Benicio del Toro, I think.
Okay, that's where you lost me. Listen, if I'm not on a stand-up stage or if I'm not writing somewhere, I'm not generally watching movies or television. I keep Cartoon Network on in the background, so it goes from Cartoon Network to Adult Swim. It's on 24-hour loop in the background.
Yeah.
Or I got some light jazz playing on, my Alexa. But, we keep it real creative in here of just my own space.
That's good. I like that. Yeah, not me. My shit is, I got, what is that? Drink Champs on in the background. A lot of, I love Drink Champs, yo. That's where I get all my news. I should not be getting news from Monroe. Wait, who was this chick? Did you look her up for it?
Yeah. Gabrielle Cartier. She was on 9120.
Bring her up. Share your screen. Let me see this chick.
Yeah, she was the one that they kept complaining was too old to be on 90210 at the time because she was in her, I think, 30s maybe.
All right, scratch that. Bring up the whole cast of 90210 because in my mind, all them niggas look old anyway. All of them were way too old for high school. Like,
except for Tori Spelling was accurate. Shannon Doherty, I think, was accurate.
Let's bring up a picture of when they were on the show. Right now, this don't count. I feel like Luke Perry still looks the same. Let's see.
You gotta look him up by age.
Let's just look at the cast in the photo. I mean, on the whatchamacallit.
Tiffany Amber's thesis didn't come on until like the end of it.
Who's Tiffany? You said a bunch of words right there.
Tiffany Thiessen right there. She was on Saved by the Bell.
I remember her from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, so she came on towards the last couple of seasons of 90210.
Back then, they would cast like adults for kid shit.
Yeah, they were.
And in our mind, that's what like a teenager looked like. When I was younger, and then you watch TV and you see a teenager, you're like, wow, they're grown.
But see, look how Gabrielle, look how much older she looks than the rest of the people that are here.
Oh, she looked like she looked like Joe Tada's wife.
So she was up there.
Who was she though?
I don't think she was the only one. I think Luke Perry was also up there. Ian Ziering, he always looks young for his age, but the rest of them were pretty. It was pretty accurate.
So wait, ain't no black people live in Beverly Hills? Well,
they act like not in New York City either. You saw Friends was a completely white cast, so. Yeah,
and that's funny too, cause like, what world do you live in where black people aren't even a help? Like, what white world is this? Where black people don't even sweep in your world?
No.
Friends was a utopia, right? That was more of like imagine a world with no black people.
And you got to dig high and low to find a black person in this cast, and those black people that they're showing you are they were sub characters.
Yeah, like Corey Tyler. I don't remember him. Was
I
he
don't
like
remember
a key
him.
grip?
I do remember James Pickens being on there, and the other black lady, Donna. I forgot her last name, but she was on there. I do remember
Who
her.
was James Pickens with that hat? Who was
I
he?
think he was a. I think he might have been a professor at the school. Might have been a teacher at the school.
So that was a class they tuned out. Like they just talked the most in there. They're like, I ain't listening to this black professor. What?
He was. I'm pretty certain he was one of the teachers. I mean, obviously he wasn't a student, although as high up as they was casted, he might. He might have been. So.
I never really watched 90210 that much. I believe it or not, you're gonna hate me. I was a Frasier person.
Oh no, I love
Frasier went in. Oh, okay. Most times I
yeah.
tell people I love Frasier, they're like, "What?"
No, I love
Frasier went
Frasier,
in,
but
yo.
I didn't get into Frasier when Frasier was on. I got into Frasier when they started playing him in the afternoons. And then I started paying attention to the show, and I really loved that show. I thought it was better than Cheers, actually.
Me too. I didn't really watch Cheers. Cheers was something that came on late at night, and then I just was like, go to sleep to it. That and Star Trek.
Oh yeah, with Whoopi on it.
Nah, I didn't get that deep. That's Deep Space Nine, right? Or not deep? Yeah, that's Deep Space Nine. I think I did Next Generation. I don't think she was on Next Generation.
I watched. Yeah, I think
Maybe
I
she was. Let's see.
With Whoopi, yeah, I would watch that, and that was another thing that came on. That's the thing I miss. Like, we don't have a lot of after school.
Oh, shoot.
Because we're older, we don't pay attention, but. A lot of these shows we sort of became fans of. You became fans of them because they came on in the afternoon after school, or you was home around 5 or 6.
Yeah, they came on. We know them because of syndication.
Right.
Yeah, a
Which is
lot
another-
of shows
right.
because that's what so people basically syndication is what we were talking about. So when the show goes into syndication, that's when you really start to get the big residuals, and that's what writers want. Because once another network buys that shit, like let's say NBC shoots something and they air it, and then the season ends, and then they're like, all right, it's up for grabs, and Netflix buys it. When Netflix buys it, Netflix doesn't have to give residuals to the writers and stuff like that.
Which is
Basically,
probably
that is problematic. How come we just can't run up in there?
I don't know how long this strike is gonna last, but I can tell you right now that
I'm gonna tell you this: it's gonna last for a long time. I seen the videos, I heard the chants. They ain't getting shit done with them chants. ain't no energy out there, yo. You can unshare the screen for Reed.
the Survivor Forever chant. I just was a part of that. I just went to a WGA thing on just being nosy because it was talking about applying for unemployment, but I know I can't do it. I'm not eligible to do it. But I wanted to see some of the stuff that they were talking about, and they had a survivors chant, and I don't know. I felt like empowered with
What the hell is the survivors chant?
It was,
Let me hear it.
It was called a survivors chant or something like survivors. Some song Savior was we fought marching on and fighting.
That sounds like church.
Yeah, but it was like white people when they get out their little piccolos and shit, and they start doing that little marching band shit.
That's why I don't think y'all gonna get shit done. I heard it. I heard all them little goddamn chants. I'm like, look, y'all gonna do this for a long time.
Yeah, that kind of but they was fighting battles with that. They would start every battle with a damn glory, glory, hallelujah. So
yeah, glory, glory, hallelujah. I will not. If I was an exec and I looked out my window and I seen y'all singing glory, glory, hallelujah, I'll just close my blinds. Y'all gotta play shit that gets the cops called, yo. If I was there, I text the group chat. I'm like, if I was there, I would just be blasted. If you ain't got no money, take your broke ass home. Like, that's the best thing to chant.
Yeah.
Because if they don't got no money to pay y'all, then fuck them. Right?
Yeah.
Dude, that's what y'all need. Y'all need me down there, but I ain't a part of WGA.
Right,
shit
but
too
you are
much.
part of the Screen Actors Guild, which is bleeding into that, so.
I know. I got the email. I'm waiting for the third email. The third email means that it's mandatory. Right now, it's just optional.
Okay. Fran gonna come next to your house.
Yo, I seen you on your workout shit, man. How's that going?
I mean, it is
You looking good.
Thank you. It's a battle with myself. It honestly and truly is. It has been one of the most difficult experiences, even to this moment. It's very hard. I think through the process of it, I realized that the weight, the food, all of it has been comforting or ignoring certain things, not dealing with certain things. And so, it's not that I don't have stumbles now, I really do, but I always try to remember that when I get into the gym and I work out, I feel a lot better. It just empowers me. It makes me feel stronger. But I'm not at the place where I go in and I'm excited.
No? But your gym looks cool, though. You don't go to goddamn Blink Fitness. I'm in a Blink. I see your gym. You got one person talking to you.
Yes.
They're encouraging you. They got good music. What are you talking about? How are you not excited to go to that gym?
No, I love Naima. She's amazing. I have referred her to so many people in my life because I just think she is just one of the most amazing people in the world. This journey started years and years ago with my dear friend Yamaneika Saunders, and I had not dealt with a lot of issues. I have mental health issues that I had to deal with in terms of having ADHD. I'm somebody that suffers from severe anxiety and depression. So once I started to deal with those things, and just start the process of healing and start the process of loving myself, it becomes easier. It's not that I hate going to the gym. I'm not gonna lie, I love sleep. So sometimes getting up is a chore. But I love when I'm in there. I never regret being in there. And every time that I am done, I am not ready to go. So I'm glad I have made that sort of pivot with my work.
That's dope. Now, how the hell is ADD a mental illness? Or mental issue. ADD, I got ADD. That shit ain't, you can't get no check. For me to classify it as mental illness, you got to be able to get a check from the government for it.
Well,
remember those days? Do they still do that? I got ADD. I wish I can go.
Well, I have ADHD, and it's the same. So what happens is you probably got diagnosed with ADD when you were younger, and they see ADD a lot. It's prevalent in young men. They're able to identify it. What is unfortunate for girls is they don't diagnose girls correctly. So a lot of women, and when you get in your 30s and 40s, that's when women get diagnosed with having ADHD. It's gone undiagnosed this whole time.
Good for y'all. Revenge.
Well, it's not. It's one of the things where it explains for me. There are certain things that are mood changers with having ADHD. There's a lot of agitation, irritants. There is a lot of conflict going on in the head, lack of focus. So, now that I take medicine to focus in and control my ADHD, I get a lot more accomplished. That's what's helped me a lot with even the workouts, because now I can focus on my task and not get distracted. The anxiety is also sometimes a subset of having ADHD, because with having that sort of chaos in the mind, it keeps a person anxious and on guard. So I have to take medication to keep my anxiety at bay. And oftentimes, in the process of that, there is also some residual depression that is identified with those sort of other things being tapered down. So then you have to address that as well. So they sort of come in a combo of like you have ADD
You
or
got your biscuit with your
right.
Yeah.
You got your sides, you got your main, you got your whole thing.
Which
But
one's the main though? Depression? Depression seems like it's the main.
No, depression is, a sort of a side effect of like the ADHD and the anxiety.
Yeah.
It's, I think we don't often understand depression also because I think depression for people has a very specific look of like melancholy and darkness and sadness. And
Yeah.
that's not necessarily depression. Sometimes some of the happiest people
Depressed.
are depressed.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I think that people don't like to talk about mental health issues because it was very hard for me. I didn't want to be on any medication. I didn't want to talk about it. I always felt like people thought I was crazy and I didn't want to give into that. And then I had to understand that it's dealing with your mental health is something everyone has to deal, right? We all have health. We all have
Yeah.
mental health. Whether your mental health is in check, right, and you may not need to take medications or you may not be diagnosed with certain things, there is still a realm of mental health. So we all have to make sure that we are aligned in being healthy mentally, spiritually, and physically. So once I got over the stigma of talking about that, I was more free to tell people that I had ADHD, and I had more people coming out to me and being vulnerable. And I remember when I told Chloe, I told my friends.
Chloe Hilliard, everybody. She's on the episode not the one before this, but like 2 weeks ago. Check out that episode. All right, go ahead.
Check her out. I called Chloe. I called Zaynab. I told Pat. I told, my close circle of friends. I told Mia. It was important. First, I had to tell my mother.
Was there like a reveal? Did you do like, how you do a gender reveal? Did you do a mental illness reveal?
No.
You got a cake and you cut it and it was like, it's ADHD. And it's blue inside because the medicine.
No, that's funny. No, when I told my mother and my father, I got two different responses from them.
Yeah.
So I won't talk about what my father said because I know he doesn't like his conversations talked about at all.
He said, ain't nothing wrong with you. That's what the hell he said. That's what a father would say about his daughter. You're his only daughter, right?
Yeah. No, he has two other daughters. He has
two other daughters. If my girls call me with some horse shit, I'm like, you fine. I did my best. Don't worry about it. I just dropped you a couple times.
Yeah, my dad has very specific opinions.
Yeah.
But I think and how I manage it, not that the certain things are presented. But my mother is very supportive, and I told her, and I told my friends because I wanted them to monitor how my behavior was now that I, had medications that I was taking for certain things.
Yeah.
And I remember telling Chloe, and Chloe was like, "I could have been told you." She was like, "Yeah, yeah." She was like that. I was just waiting for you to find out.
Yeah,
So,
no, Chloe walks around diagnosing everybody. According to Chloe, I got like 4 things.
But she was right. But it felt good to have your friend go, obviously.
Yeah.
And let's move. Okay, so big deal. It's not a big deal. So once I had that, it just makes me feel. It makes me feel normal. I don't want to feel like I'm, somebody who's out of place. I will be honest. Like when I talk to my psychiatrist, I told her I don't want to be on these. I want to learn to taper off of these things.
Yeah.
But if I never do, I know that I've had a lot of things presented in my life that I haven't dealt with. The loss of my grandparents, my cat. I had a lot of loss that I did not have time to stop and deal with because I had to work.
Yeah,
and
you were in the height of shit too when those things were happening. Yeah.
And once you start to ignore shit, it doesn't go away. It just
tap you on your shoulder.
Right. For to be
hey,
here we go.
Sadness, baby. Come on.
Yeah.
Embrace it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was, and then we had the pandemic, and it was a lot of darkness during that time. But I'm just grateful for what I consider to be a second chance at living a happy life.
Yo, that's dope. I'm happy to hear you talk like that, yo. That's cool. I'm proud of you, yo. You making me smile and shit, showing my gums. That is so dope, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, like spiritually, how has this affected you spiritually now?
It is a when I was talking to my mother about it, I think a lot of times, especially like in the Black community, we believe that we need to go to God for everything, which I'm in total agreement with. But I think sometimes we think because we have to go to God for everything that he doesn't provide solution. And when I say he, I'm not genderizing God, because I believe God is bigger than a gender. But I think that for lack of better term and acknowledging God, when he gives us ways.
You can say they or them. I feel like,
I just don't want people to think I'm misgendering God. I think he's beyond gender, but I also don't want to call God it. You know what I mean? So it's, but I think that when I was open to the resources that God placed in the world for me to utilize, and it's not just the medication, it's opening myself up to my friends in a different way, and letting people know that I need emotional support, letting people know when I can provide and when I can't, because oftentimes I would run myself thin trying to be everywhere for everyone at every time, and I wasn't able to be there for myself, and it was just a way for me to keep distracted. So I let people know when I'm able to show up and when I'm not able to show up. And I let people know when I'm in a moment where I'm down and that it's not something that I need them to be down with me for. I just need time and space to myself, and then I can come back, because I also know now the responsibility that I have to make sure that my relationships are reciprocal and that I am not burdening people or bringing people down more than I am also giving joy, right? So we've learned how to function in relationship and communication to people. And also I've learned how to be on my own and be alone and really like get excited about it. I think as a woman, as we get older, as women, I think, and I know men have their own thing, so I'm not acting like men don't. But for women, one of the
But you don't got. Isn't it sad that we got to do that though? That you got to be like, I don't mean this. Just say with me. Just say how you feel. I know that you're not shitting on men. You know what I mean? Like, I know you're not going, hey, like, this is what you're going through. That's fucked up,
It's what I'm going through. I mean, I get it. And I thank you for saying that, and I appreciate that. I can just move on. But as women get older, and I never thought I would see this until obviously I got into my 40s, and then I'm like, oh, this is what's happening now, right? Is that women start to get ostracized depending on, are you a woman that is married? Are you a woman that has children? Are you a woman that has been validated by having a relationship with a man? And those things weigh heavy, and it had weighed very heavy on me, because those weren't, because I never wanted my validation to come from those things. I always was a creative. I was always somebody who was in arts, acting. I'm classically trained in the theater. I've always been about my creativity, and that has always been the thing that I wanted to be a representation of the legacy that I left. And oftentimes when you are in that space, especially as a woman, and you're dedicated to it, it doesn't leave a lot of time for the side that women are constantly told they're supposed to have, which is this very nurturing side. There's something I need to be mothering. There's some man I need to be taken care of. There's some man I need to be connected to so that the world can see me. And I've never played into that. When you get into your 40s, you realize that whether you play into that or not, that's a way for society to isolate you and say that you have no validation as a woman because you haven't done those things. And I've also had people that I've been in relationships with who have used those things against me and told me I would always be alone. I would never have anybody. And I had to deal with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And learning how to be okay with that and going, really, I don't have to learn how to be okay with something that I'm fine with doing anyway. If I never get married, I'm fine with that. If I never have children, I'm fine with that. I don't think that I have not lived a complete life. I'm not lacking in anything other than maybe a physical relationship, which I don't think is 100% of what and the love and attention and affection that I need, I've been getting it from my family and my friends. And telling them that I need a hug, telling them I need a conversation. So it is.
And then you can order the ding-a-ling on Tinder. So everything is kind of, you know what I mean? Everything is, you live like most of these women should have waited. All these women had rushed to have kids and shit. Now we're in the future where you can have your cake and eat it too. And now they got to change Pampers, and you just sitting home working on yourself, ordering some penis with some Thai food.
I think it's also better as for women to change their perspective about what validates them, because before I think I allowed myself to be in relationships that were not serving me because I had a fear of being alone and I had a fear of not being chosen. And once I changed my perspective and realized that I'm not saying there's never going to be a guy or there's no guy out there for me, I'm just saying now I know exactly what I want, and I don't want to give into anything that I don't want to have in my life. I want happiness. I want somebody who is coming in with we make sense together. We are building together spiritually, mentally, physically, all of those things, and not just a situation where I'm trying to adjust who I am to fit into some man's life so that he can choose me to be, his partner.
Yeah, and I feel like you're doing it right too, because good energy attracts good energy, right? So if you putting time into yourself, you'll scare off the people who are like, they'll go, oh, that's high maintenance. It's not high maintenance. This is what I do for me. And if you ain't, I'm looking for somebody who's willing to do that for them. So when they come into this relationship, we here with it.
Yeah.
I don't gotta be lifting you. Like, you lift each other up when necessary, but you're not doing all this like, oh no, everything is good, everything will work out, you'll be fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think you're in a good position now, too. You gotta, I always look at it like, I used to tell Chloe this. I'm like, because you're successful, you lose a large percentage of men that you would date. Not that would date you, but the ones you would date, the ones you catch your eye and you're just off of looks alone, because most of the time they don't got shit anyway,
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I mean, it's so many guys that I would, it's so.
And you're in comedy too. You're in the world. Yes. You're successful at what you do. Yeah. You're the center of attention everywhere you go. You know what I mean? Not even just the times that you're on stage, but even off stage, because it's our personalities. That's your personality. Yeah. So when that energy just follows you, and you got to find somebody who's okay with not even getting, I'm going to take the back seat and allow her to have it, but adds on to that. You know what I mean? To be like, yeah, everybody fuck with my lady. My lady's the shit. When she walks into the room, everybody stops and looks at her. She commands that shit, and it's good just to have somebody on your side who's just like, yeah, go be great. Do that. How Will Smith say before he slapped Chris Rock? Find someone who fans your flame.
Yeah.
All that made sense, and then he slapped Chris Rock, and I was like, all right now, nigga. Now all that shit is out the window. Huh?
It got too hot. The fan got too hot.
They was like, hit that nigga. Go ahead. Hit him. Man, this fan him.
You're 100% right. I think the biggest issue is I don't really have a respect a person when it comes to you know, professions and things of that nature. I know in our community we're talking a lot about Ebony K. Williams and her comment, and Iyanla Vanzant.
Oh, with the bus driver thing and all that shit. But that's go ahead. I'll let you do. Yeah.
You know, and my grandfather was a bus driver, and I thought he was one of the coolest guys in the world. What I understand about what Ebony K. Williams is saying is that I think it becomes how many men are at the place where a lot of women are, which, you know, is another conversation about society. But
what do you mean, financially, mentally?
It's like, you know, the reason why I wouldn't date a bus driver.
You wouldn't date a bus driver? Get the hell out of here.
No, not anymore. I would.
Not anymore? Go ahead. I got to hear this out.
And the reason why, it's not because of the status of the bus driver. I'm not interested in dating a man that's not on my level or above anymore. Financially, because what happens is, what they don't tell you about is the dangerous side of that, which is jealousy, which is resentment, which is a man feeling emasculated by his woman who is making more than him. It's not about the woman. It's about finding a man that is okay with that. And I think it's like what you were saying. As comedians, we come into the room, especially when we have the charm and charisma. We know how to command a stage. We are the personalities that come into the room. You have to have a partner that's okay letting you be the personality in the room, and they know that it doesn't mean that you are usurping any authority from them, but the room is where you play, and they may play somewhere else, right? So if I was, you know, it's like when I think about Rachel Feinstein and when she talks about her husband who was a fireman,
firefighter,
right?
yeah.
So, but she loves, and he's secure with with who he is and the firefighter life, and she tried to hook me up with a firefighter, and it was just like her husband.
It didn't work out?
No, I didn't. We went to the wrong station at the wrong day, and none of the good looking ones were there. But
you're like, where the calendar people at? Where the hell? Just a bunch of chili makers.
Cookies. You have to have Rachel come on and tell you that story about how we went on the wrong day. But what is fantastic is she fans him and he fans her, so that you know, he knows that there are these events that they'll go to, the firefighters' wives, and that's where he shines, because he's the firefighter, and she can sit back and be the doting wife. So they trade off in the spaces in which they get to dominate. So I think for women, it's finding a man that it may not, if he was a bus driver and he was okay with everything that I brought to the table, maybe having more money than him. I don't know, as long as writer strike, you know, that could change. But, you know.
Yeah, you're going to need your bus driver if the writer strike keep going.
But, you know, like, honestly, like, when things are good in our business, we make a lot of money. So we have an opportunity to make a lot more money than a person, you know, average, you know, not average, but you know what I mean? Like, you can make a bunch of money, you sell a project or anything. So there are times when there are women who are making more money than the men they're with. And it's all about that man being secure with that. And I've dealt with men who have not been secure with the success that I've had. And for that, I have to find a way to bring myself down, to make myself little, because they can't get as big as me. And I'm not interested in doing that anymore. And that means that I'm single forever, then so be it. But to have somebody try to ostracize me or villainize me for having standards, and knowing that at this age, maybe when I was in my 20s, I would say, oh, I see the potential in you. I can stay and work with you. Because in your 20s, you got time. But honey, we in our 40s, 30s. It's like, what are we doing now? We don't have time for me to go, I can believe in you. Because life is short. I gotta be believing in myself. I gotta be hustling for me. So I ain't got time to be hustling for me and hustling for you. I need you to be where you need to be, so that I can do what I can do and you can do what you can do. And then if we need to come together every now and then and support each other, fine. But I can't put myself in that position. Those relationships have been the most toxic for me. That's where I've received the most verbal abuse, mental abuse. You ain't shit, you a bitch, you this, you that. It's just the talking down. And it comes from a place of that man being insecure about where he is, and now I got to be insecure about who I am so that he feels better about himself. No, thank you.
Yeah, but just don't get an insecure bus driver, because I don't think. Here's the thing. I don't know. I'm not defending bus drivers or anything. I think it really doesn't matter the job. It matters the financial literacy, right? Because if you're making a job that pays you 6 figures, you can still end up in the hole, but it's, do you know what to do with that 6 figures?
Absolutely.
And if you're taking that money and you're putting it into other things, right? So that's why, I forgot what she said, but everybody got mad at the profession, and I think what she was trying to focus on was the mentality, right? Because some people, we look at people with jobs and look down on them, but some people are really good with money, and they, you know what I mean. They can make a $100,000 job a year and make it look like they make fucking $500,000. Make it look like they make $500,000.
My grandfather was a bus driver. He made it to the number 2 badge. They level up depending on how long they've been there. It was only one other person more seniority than him. He made it to number 2 badge. I have no problem with bus drivers. Yeah. Again, it is the mentality, and I think for her, as it has been for me, I think you get to a certain place where it's like, why don't you want to be the guy that owns the bus company, right? Or why don't you think you can do more than this? But I have to be very honest. Growing up, they always say, go get you a man that got a good pension, a good government job. What I thought was absurd about the anger was that it was, not only was it hypocritical because men have all kinds of standards about what they want when it comes to women. So I don't understand why she wasn't allowed to have a standard. But it's not like there's a deficit of bus drivers out here without women. Them niggas be getting pussy all the time.
Pussy, you know how many chicks need rides? You know how many chicks need rides, yo? Get a lot of hair.
Women love a man in a uniform. Trust me, the man at the post office, the bus driving man, they got plenty of women that are out here wanting to marry them. So I thought it was unfortunate that we got to this conversation, because it's not like there's bus driving men out here who don't have options. They got plenty of options.
Yeah. All right, wait. So before we end this conversation, I wanted to switch gears a little bit and just play games, play a quick game.
I know this got so serious. You have to have me back on so I can just play.
No, I'm not. Yeah, let's fucking do it. Because now that it's this, instead of me going to different people and trying to just be oh, what day are you free? It's just easier to do this. So you ever heard of chat?
I cleared my schedule for you.
Thank you.
I could be gaming in a tournament right now, but I'm not.
Yo, why didn't you pick the tournament? If you'd have told me that you were gaming in a tournament, I would have been all right, let's link up next time. What tournament is it?
No, they're doing Fortnite tournaments and stuff now. So
you still play Fortnite? I gotta get back on. Here's the problem: y'all played way too late, and my lady, Michelle. Always, I get that text. I'm like, hey, yeah. And then I get a text, babe, I got to go to work. Be quiet. Stop. Yeah. And I'm like, all right. Now I'm just whispering, looking like a little pussy on fucking live. So where do we go? Where do we got to go, guys? So wait, when do you play games?
I mean, it's far and few between because I've been so busy. But now with everything happening, I'm pretty much free to play as much as I want, and but I'm also working on some things. Hopefully, by the time the strike is over, we'll have something sold or selling something. But I try to play as much as possible. It just clears my head. It gives me a space to not fall into certain stereotypes of what I could fall into, and to understand that my destiny is mine to have.
Yo, I love this. I love saying this. This is great. Remember I remember that time we was at New York Comedy Club and you just came, Stand Up New York, and you just came up to me and you was like, I see that you're becoming this. I see the man that you're becoming, and that's good. And I see the woman that you are, and that's kind of dope to see, you know. Fareed, let's just play one game then. What game is it? We're relying on ChatGPT.
Okay.
You know what ChatGPT is?
I'm learning about it.
So basically, it's an AI, and I typed into the engine like, "Hey, looking for games to play on the podcast," and they named several, and 2 of them were like, "All right, this is fun." The rest of them were like kind of corny.
Okay.
But go ahead, Fareed. Let's do it.
So ChatGPT had like a child lock on it.
A child lock?
Yeah, for Would You Rather. So the entire podcast, I've just been scouring the internet for good Would You Rathers the whole time. So, yeah.
All right, no, you read them to us. We don't got to.
Okay.
All right,
so y'all don't have to see the screen?
Yeah, we don't have to see the screen.
I won't
yeah.
look
at that.
Yeah. Let's do 2, because I got to start right. Yeah.
Would you rather see your other half in a porn video or your parents?
What do you mean your other half?
Would you rather see your significant other in a porn video or your parents in a porn video?
Ooh, who go first? You go first or me go first? I'll go first.
Go ahead.
So parents, if my dad was in the porn, then I know where he is. I'm like, oh, okay, that's my dad. I know he's doing well. If my mom was in porn, I don't, no. But seeing my lady, now if I see my lady in the porn, are we talking about current, like her with me, or like before she got with me, or afterwards? Current? Nah, I'd rather see my parents. I would rather see my parents in the porn, not my baby.
What if it was past?
What? My girl?
Yeah.
It'll be fine. I don't care. But then, if she was nastier in those videos, and anytime I asked her to do something, and she'd be like, I don't feel like it. I'm like, but you felt like it here. You felt like doing it here. I'll probably be toxic as shit, yo. I'm being honest. I'm like, oh, but a camera gotta be present for you to get busy. What about you, y'all?
I definitely don't want to see my parents in no porn.
Yeah?
Definitely. If it was my current partner, more power to them, and I want to know where their check is because we need to get it cash.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Porn stars make money. Except the males. I don't think the males make money. I think they're doing it for bagels and pussy.
I know. They might get paid more, actually.
You think? I think that's the only industry where women probably make the most money.
I can't argue with that. It probably
Yeah. Yeah, guys just showing up with the dick. All we do is just like, yeah, suck it. Y'all do most of the acting, so why wouldn't y'all get the bigger check? What's the second one?
All right. Would you rather have sex with a very, very ugly person or a beautiful, fresh corpse?
Wait, both of them are corpses?
No. One is just a very ugly person, so like a 0. The other is a beautiful, fresh corpse, so like just died.
I mean, the latter got to be a fetish, right?
Yeah.
Because even if it's someone beautiful, like you want them to be into it. Like, I'm not a necrophiliac.
Yeah.
Like Beyonce? No, oh, fuck it.
No. I mean, ew. And then also
Yeah.
for women, it's like the guy has to have, how's he going to get aroused if he's dead?
Yo, on some, like, I don't think she's listening. So, I tried to have sex with my lady, like, wake her up and be like, yeah, baby, let's do it. Like, do you understand how hard it is to get inside a sleepy vagina? Like, do you know how hard? So imagine one that's dead.
No, yeah.
Yo, you need a lot of force to get into a sleeping vagina. Did you know that, Fareed?
No, I didn't.
Yo, see, that's why I'm here. Did you know that? You know that. Yam, you're a woman.
Yeah, of course. If I'm out, I'm out. Good luck.
Yo, it is so hard just to bust that crust. So imagine if they did. So even if they were beautiful, the act of sex will still suck because it's just you trying to get it all the way into the place of pleasure. All right, I think that's it, yo. Yam, thank you for sticking around. Usually we try to do a Patreon part, but we both got hard outs, right? You got to dip in a little bit, go get on your Fortnite tournament, and I got to go. Where can the people find you?
Fortnite, and you can catch me on Twitch at Yelling Girl with 2 G's, or catch me on Yamaneika at everything else. All
right, people, you know what to do. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Check out Yamaneika and all her work. She has a podcast. What is the podcast? It's Rant and Raven, or which one?
No, everything's on hiatus. Everything's on hiatus. I'll be coming out with some. When I start my stuff back up, I'll come back to you.
Okay, all right. Well, make sure y'all keep an eye out for Yamaneika. Once again, thank you for doing the podcast, Yam. I'm gonna have you on. Tell me your schedule, and then we just come back on and stick around.
Okay, I would love that.
All right. Yo, thank you.